I could go on down, but I want to talk again about this. It was mentioned this morning. This is the way we design commercial lots. If you take a look at this right up here, there's no way you can efficiently irrigate that with an irrigation system without water running off. This one's a little better, but what about if you did a system like that? You've taken care of stormwater quality. You are storing water in the soil. The soil has become your rainwater catchment system. You're collecting the polluted water off the paved areas and stuff like this, and you're making use of that. You are taking care of a stormwater runoff, rainwater harvesting, and helping recharge aquifers all in one fell swoop. We've got a lot of work to do in that area. So, there are also a number of regulations out there. If you look at that, that's a lot of states that have something to mention to do with, say, graywater reuse. That's both a blessing and a curse. Every one of them's different. Some of them are good, some of them are not. It's a major thing that we need to be getting into. Which gets me to the Green Technical Committee is looking at this whole graywater issue. We're looking at coming up way beyond graywater, any on-site sources, and looking at coming up with new code. If we can get good code out there, then you can build under the cover of code and have something to go by. It's something we desperately need. I do have to mention that there are states and cities that offer rebates for doing this stuff all over. Do check with your local people. You may be surprised you can get money for it. Maybe the federal government will actually do it. The other one is looking at all the different places where it's used. Look at this. We mentioned about U.S. Green Building Council, and by the way, there's several of us here that are on the Water Efficiency Technical Advisory Group. We are unhappy that the 09 issue did not have specific stuff on there for on-site sources and also for commercial use of stuff. But look at what the Green Globes guys did in theirs. They are giving points for on-site and for effluent derived from a municipal system in their point system for their building green rating system. And they also rated a whole lot more. Out of about 90 points, you get 5 for water in the USGBC's one. Enough of that. It's a bandwagon effect. This is one where it's called a rain guzzler. It catches water. It runs it off the land. That's one of the oldest forms of rainwater harvesting that is around, but we have so many more. And I'm going to talk about rainwater harvesting with cisterns. But look at some other things. Now, this is just to show that I did the rainwater and flipped to this on purpose. And here you are with a P-trap primer. And we have to prime P-traps in the floor drains. Well, you can use, both of these are very good systems. One of them does it, this one over here, it does it on a pressure differential. This one does it, though, by catching the water from the water under the sink and sending it down to the floor drain. It is actually recycling water. We have pools and spas. I mentioned about the City of Austin's backwash. Here's that picture of some AC condensate systems. Pretty simple systems. You basically are catching it and pumping it to wherever you need. In that case, in both those cases, that water was going back to the cooling towers. In Houston, Texas, Baylor Medical Center installed it. About 30% of all the makeup water they need for their cooling tower comes from their AC condensate. It's a very humid area. Worked great in Florida and in southern Alabama and a few other places like that where it's very humid and very hot. And that is almost pure water. So you can increase your cycles of concentration too. This is one. It's Advanced Micro Devices. Manufacturing plant catches that water and it uses it for irrigation of its campus there. This building was built 3 stories underground. It's to fabricate computer chips, and they had a lot of groundwater infiltration. Like a lot of buildings, they had to build this big French drain system. They caught that water, and they have a lot of water now to water their landscape with. This is same thing. This is Tarrytown Methodist Church in Austin, Texas. 3-story underground parking garage. Groundwater infiltration, enough to water their entire campus. And by the way, Methodists sprinkle instead of dunk. And I analyzed they could baptize 2.5 million people a day with the amount of water they catch. So, had a great-grandfather that was a Methodist minister. He'd be proud of that, I think. Anyway, catching stormwater and combining it with other sources, combined sources. This is another plant that catches both its stormwater and also its AC condensate and some RO backwash water and uses it for landscape irrigation. Here's a concrete plant that catches over half of water it needs for making concrete. The stormwater system it was required to put in by EPA. Oh my goodness, it's going to run us out of business. It's costing da-da-da-da. Now they've changed it into a resource, and they are saving a lot of money by doing it. This is Dr. Howard Blatt in Austin, Texas. He took his stormwater system. He stores it in this cistern now, 100% off the city for any outdoor water use. And do step gingerly around there. It is a veterinary clinic, and there are dogs that are walked out there. University of Texas, one of my favorite examples. They collect water from French drain systems, AC condensate, and from other sources within laboratories. 130,000 gallons of water a day is collected and sent to their cooling towers for use in cooling tower makeup. Think of the possibilities of that. This is just showing one of their water recovery systems from a piece of equipment that used to have once-through cooling. It is now recovered and sent there, and they have this system all over campus. Here is a place that catches rainwater and AC condensate and uses it. They don't have any vegetation around this. This is why it's under construction, but this is a homeless shelter. They use it for toilet and urinal flushing. I mentioned the University of Texas, City Hall in Austin, Texas. AC condensate makes makeup water for all of its fountains. It's 100% soft, so you don't get any of the scale problems you have with the hard water we have. And then they catch their groundwater seepage from their parking garage and use it for landscape irrigation. And here's the biggest rainwater catchment system I know of in the United States, 1.3 million gallons. Again, this is a separate site from the advanced micro devices place I showed you. They have combined their stormwater, their AC condensate, and their rainwater, and it makes up water for both makeup water for partial use for the makeup water for the cooling towers and for landscape irrigation. Okay, I got out of Texas. I had to show this one. Here's the new Bank of America, and I could do a bunch of other examples. Again, they're doing a lot of the same things. Bottom line is we have a significant opportunity. In Texas, well, I'm from Texas. Where do you wash your cow? And also in the commercial side of things, we have a lot of opportunity by the type of use it is. Recycle systems for car washes. In some places are becoming mandatory. The technology at first was not so good. It has improved dramatically. Catching water for reuse in laundries. Here's a very simple system in a hotel. It catches your clothes washer at home is a two-cycle system. You have a wash cycle and a rinse cycle. In a hotel, you have a first flush cycle. You have a wash cycle with detergent. Then you have a rinse cycle. Then you have depending on what you're washing, you may have a start cycle and they call it a sizing cycle. And if they got the pH too low, you might put a sour cycle in to get the pH adjusted, and on like that. And then you have a final rinse. Well, they catch the final rinse water and use it for the first flush. To this one where they are recovering 80% of the water that they use in that laundry system here and reuse it in some big tunnel washers that they have. So there are a lot of opportunities out there. I just wanted to go over and have a chance to give you a few of them, and I think I'm actually getting ready and just in time to take some questions. And so with that, I also work with a company I want to mention called Water Management, which is does performance contracting in the water business too. So I have both of them up there, but you can all reach me at the same place. And so there I am with this, a quick run through on the many opportunities that we have out there for looking at the water that you already have on your own site and perhaps making better use of it before you let it go. My first and foremost caveat on this is that the protection of public health and safety always needs to take first precedent out here, and that's why we need to have good regulations. That's why IAPMO is working on this. That's why a lot of other people in other states are working on it too. Let's hope we can really get on this and give ourselves some additional work to do, both in the residential and commercial plumbing sector. Thank you.